In August 2012, Voyager 1 crossed the heliopause, the boundary between the Sun's domain and interstellar space, and became the first human-made object to enter the space between the stars. That was remarkable enough. What has happened since is something that nobody fully anticipated, and what scientists are now detecting in the data Voyager sends back from interstellar space is forcing a fundamental revision of our understanding of what lies between the stars. Voyager 1 is currently approximately 24 billion kilometers from Earth. It is traveling at about 17 kilometers per second, fast enough to cross the continental United States in about 4 minutes. And yet it is so far away that even at that speed, the nearest star system remains roughly 73,000 years of travel ahead of it. The radio signals it transmits, moving at the speed of light, take over 22 hours to reach Earth. Everything we know about what Voyager is experiencing comes from data that is almost a full day old by the time it arrives. And what that data is telling us has been growing stranger and more interesting with each passing year. The first unexpected discovery came not long after Voyager 1 crossed into interstellar space. Scientists expected the crossing to be relatively straightforward. The solar wind would stop, the cosmic ray flux from outside the solar system would increase, and Voyager would find itself in a region of space dominated by the local interstellar medium, the thin gas and magnetic field that fills the galaxy between stellar systems. What they found instead was a series of surprises about the structure and behavior of the interstellar medium that no model had predicted. The most dramatic of these surprises involved what scientists call plasma oscillations, vibrations in the plasma of the interstellar medium that Voyager's plasma wave instrument can detect. These oscillations occur when energetic electrons travel through the plasma and disturb it, setting off waves at a frequency that depends on the density of the plasma. By measuring the frequency of these oscillations, scientists can calculate the density of the plasma Voyager is moving through. What Voyager detected shortly after crossing the heliopause was plasma oscillations at a specific frequency, and that frequency, when converted to a plasma density, indicated that the interstellar medium was about 40 times denser than the average density inside the heliosphere. This was expected, in broad terms. What was not expected was what happened next. In 2021, 9 years after Voyager 1 crossed into interstellar space, the plasma wave instrument detected a continuous, steady, remarkably persistent hum. Not a brief burst of oscillations triggered by a specific energetic event, a sustained, low-level signal that has been present, consistently, for an extended period. This signal, described by Stella Koch-Acker, the Cornell University researcher who first identified it in the data, as a hum in the interstellar plasma, is faint but real, and it cannot be explained by any of the discrete energetic events that had been used to explain previous plasma oscillations. It appears to represent something persistent about the local interstellar medium itself, a continuous low-level wave activity that was not predicted by models of the interstellar environment, and that has no obvious single cause. To understand why this is so surprising, you need to understand what the interstellar medium was expected to be like before Voyager provided direct measurements. The local interstellar medium, the specific region of interstellar space that our solar system is currently traveling through, is not representative of interstellar space in general. Our solar system is embedded in a feature called the local bubble, a vast low-density cavity in the interstellar medium roughly 300 light-years across that was carved out by a series of supernova explosions over the past several million years. Inside the local bubble, the interstellar medium is significantly less dense and hotter than the average interstellar medium in the galaxy. Within the local bubble, our solar system is currently moving through an even smaller structure called the local interstellar cloud, sometimes called the local fluff, a region of slightly denser, cooler gas embedded within the hot, thin gas of the local bubble. The solar system has been moving through this cloud for roughly 44,000 to 150,000 years, and it is expected to exit the cloud somewhere between 10,000 and 20,000 years in the future, at which point the heliosphere will interact with a different region of interstellar gas. The plasma density and temperature of the local interstellar cloud had been estimated from observations made from Earth and from spacecraft within the solar system, using techniques like measuring the absorption of ultraviolet light from distant stars by the interstellar material between us and them. These estimates gave a reasonable picture of what Voyager should find when it crossed the heliopause, a plasma with specific density and temperature characteristics, threading through a background magnetic field aligned in a particular direction. Some of Voyager's measurements matched these expectations reasonably well. The direction and strength of the interstellar magnetic field was roughly consistent with predictions, though the details required adjustment. But the persistent hum, the continuous wave activity that Auker and her colleagues identified in 2021, was not in any of the models. It represents something about the interstellar plasma that we simply didn't know was there. There is a second anomaly in Voyager's recent data that is, in some ways, even more puzzling than the plasma hum. It involves the electron density of the interstellar medium and what it suggests about the structure of the space Voyager is traveling through. As Voyager moves through the interstellar medium, it periodically encounters what are called solar energetic particle events, bursts of high-energy particles ejected from the Sun during solar flares and coronal mass ejections. These bursts travel outward from the Sun at significant fractions of the speed of light, far faster than the solar wind, and they can reach Voyager even at its enormous distance. When they do, they produce detectable plasma oscillations, essentially the interstellar plasma ringing in response to the energetic electrons. By measuring the frequency of these rings, scientists can determine the local electron density of the interstellar plasma at Voyager's position. And what these measurements have shown, across multiple events over several years, is that the electron density has been gradually increasing as Voyager moves deeper into interstellar space. This is unexpected. The local interstellar medium is not a perfectly uniform cloud. It has structure, varying density, and boundaries between regions of different temperature and density. But the steady, consistent increase in electron density that Voyager has been measuring suggests that the spacecraft may be moving from a region of lower density interstellar medium into a region of higher density, or that the local interstellar cloud itself has internal structure that our models didn't capture. If Voyager continues to measure increasing electron density as it travels deeper into interstellar space, it would suggest that the region of interstellar space immediately surrounding our solar system has a specific profile, a kind of gradient in density that shapes the interface between the solar system and the galaxy in ways that haven't been fully mapped. Alternatively, and more intriguingly, the increasing density measurements could indicate that Voyager is approaching a boundary, a transition between the region of interstellar space immediately adjacent to our heliosphere and a denser surrounding medium. What exactly lies on the other side of such a boundary, if it exists, is something no model currently predicts. In 2023, Voyager 1 experienced something that had never happened before in the spacecraft's nearly 50-year history, and that briefly caused genuine alarm among the mission's scientists. The spacecraft began sending corrupted data, not no data, but scrambled in a way that was inconsistent with any coherent engineering state. The science and engineering telemetry were internally inconsistent, with different systems reporting states that couldn't all be simultaneously true. For several months, engineers at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory received transmissions from the most distant human-made object in history that simply didn't make sense. The diagnosis, when it finally came after months of careful analysis, was a single faulty chip in one of Voyager's 3 onboard computers, specifically a chip in the Flight Data Subsystem, the computer responsible for packaging engineering and science data for transmission. The chip had developed a memory corruption issue, causing it to return garbled data. What followed was an exercise in remote repair that has no parallel in the history of space exploration. The engineers couldn't simply replace the chip. Voyager 1 is over 22 light hours away, making any real-time interaction impossible. Every command takes 22 hours to arrive, and every response takes 22 hours to return. Any repair had to be planned in detail, executed in a single carefully chosen command, and then waited on for over a day before engineers would know whether it had worked. The solution they developed was elegant. Rather than trying to fix the corrupted chip, which would have required rewriting code stored in the chip itself, a risky procedure given the chip's compromised state, engineers decided to relocate the affected portion of the flight data subsystem's code to different locations in the computer's memory, spread across multiple separate memory regions, working around the faulty chip entirely. The code had been written in the 1970s. The documentation for it was decades old. Some of the engineers who originally wrote the software had retired or passed away. The team had to reconstruct an understanding of exactly how the code worked, in detail, before they could safely divide it and move it to new memory locations without breaking its function. In April 2024, after months of analysis and planning, the team sent the first command to begin the code relocation. 22 hours later, the response arrived. It worked. Voyager 1 began returning coherent data again, for the first time in months. This achievement, repairing a computer on a spacecraft 24 billion kilometers away, running on software written 50 years ago, by sending commands that take nearly a day to arrive, stands as one of the most remarkable feats of remote engineering in the history of technology. What Voyager 1 is hearing in interstellar space, the persistent plasma hum, the increasing electron density, the subtle variations in the interstellar magnetic field, is a kind of acoustic portrait of the space between the stars. Not sound in any conventional sense. Sound requires a medium dense enough to carry pressure waves in the way air does, and the interstellar medium is far too thin for that. But electromagnetic waves in the plasma, oscillations in the magnetic field, variations in the density and temperature of the ionized gas through which Voyager moves, these are real physical signals, detectable by the instruments aboard the spacecraft, and they are telling us things about the interstellar environment that no telescope on Earth or in Earth orbit could detect. The plasma hum in particular has attracted significant scientific interest because it suggests that the interstellar medium, far from being the featureless void it is sometimes imagined to be, has persistent low-level wave activity, a kind of background oscillation that permeates the plasma continuously. The origin of this hum is not fully understood. One hypothesis is that it is generated by the interface between the heliosphere and the interstellar medium, as the solar wind pushes against the local interstellar cloud and drives oscillations in the plasma at the boundary. Another is that it represents something intrinsic to the local interstellar medium itself, a wave activity driven by turbulence or by the large-scale magnetic field threading through the galaxy. If the latter, then the hum Voyager is detecting is not local to our solar system's neighborhood at all. It is a signal from the galaxy itself, a faint resonance of the interstellar medium that fills the space between stars throughout the Milky Way, and that no instrument had previously been in a position to measure directly. The operational future of Voyager 1 is limited, and everyone involved with the mission knows it. The spacecraft's power comes from radioisotope thermoelectric generators that produce electricity from the heat of decaying plutonium-238. These generators lose about 4 watts of power per year, and by the mid-2020s, the power budget has become so tight that instruments have been switched off one by one to preserve the remaining science instruments for as long as possible. Estimates suggest that Voyager 1 will no longer have enough power to operate any of its science instruments by approximately 2025 to 2030, depending on how carefully the power is managed and how the instruments perform. After that, the spacecraft will continue transmitting basic engineering data for a few more years. And then it will fall silent. When it does, humanity will lose its only direct sensor in interstellar space. The data Voyager 1 has sent back, and continues to send back, for as long as its instruments function, represents something that cannot easily be replaced. Building a new spacecraft capable of reaching interstellar space would take decades. The journey itself would take decades more. There is no follow-up mission currently approved that would place another spacecraft in the interstellar medium within any near-term planning horizon. What Voyager 1 finds in its remaining operational years, the evolving plasma hum, the changing electron density, any new features of the interstellar environment it encounters as it moves deeper into the space between stars, will be the only direct measurements of interstellar space that humanity will have for a long time. The unknown into which Voyager 1 has crossed is not empty. It is not silent. It is not featureless. It is a structured environment with persistent wave activity, varying density, and properties that our models, built from observations made from within the solar system, did not fully anticipate. Every transmission Voyager 1 sends back is a message from a place no human instrument has ever been before, carrying data that no theoretical model had fully predicted, about a region of space that every star in the galaxy is surrounded by and that none of us will ever directly visit. It is hearing something impossible in the sense that the models said it shouldn't be there. The hum in the plasma, the increasing density, the subtle variations in the interstellar field, these are signals from a universe that is still surprising us, even when the instrument doing the listening was built 50 years ago and is running out of power 24 billion kilometers from home. The unknown is speaking. Voyager 1 is still listening.